You're 50 years old, you open your retirement account, and the number stares back at you. Zero. Not 50,000, not 20,000, not even 5,000. $0. And the panic hits you like a wave. Your chest tightens. Your mind starts racing. You've watched your coworkers talk about their 401k balances. You've heard your neighbors mention early retirement, and you're sitting here wondering if you'll ever retire at all. You might feel ashamed, like you failed at something everyone else figured out. Like there was a class on building wealth, and you somehow missed it. Maybe it was the divorce. Maybe it was the medical bills. Maybe it was just life, happening faster than you could plan for. But here's what I need you to hear right now. You have not failed. The game isn't over, not even close. What you need isn't a time machine. What you need is a completely different strategy. Not the start at 25, invest quietly for 40 years approach. That ship has sailed. This is the aggressive, intentional 50-year-old strategy. And it works. Before we go any further, I want you to know something important. You are not the only person in this situation. Not even close. According to the Federal Reserve, nearly 25% of Americans aged 50 to 59 have zero retirement savings, 1 in 4. And another 30% have less than $50,000 saved. That means more than half of all Americans in their 50s are either at zero or close to it. So if you're feeling like you're the only one who didn't figure this out, you're actually in the majority. The difference isn't who saved and who didn't. The difference is what you do about it starting right now. The next 15 years of your life, from 50 to 65, are the most powerful wealth-building years you have left. And most people waste them feeling sorry for themselves. The ones who don't, they build something real. I'm going to show you exactly how one person did it. His name is Dave, and his story might change the way you think about your own future. Dave was a professor at a mid-sized university. Good income, stable job, respected position, but he'd never made retirement a priority. Life kept getting in the way. His kids' college tuition ate through his 30s. A divorce wiped out most of his 40s. Medical bills took the rest. And then one morning, at 50 years old, Dave sat down at his kitchen table, opened his laptop, and stared at his retirement balance. $0. Not a penny. His stomach dropped. He thought about his father, who worked until he was 73 and died 2 years later. He thought about what it would feel like to be 70, still grading papers, still dragging himself to campus. That fear? It was the spark. Dave didn't spiral. He didn't shut down. He picked up a pen, and he started planning. He realized the traditional advice wasn't going to cut it. Saving 5% of his income and hoping for the best? That's a 25-year-old strategy. He needed something aggressive, intentional, uncomfortable maybe, but doable. Over the next 15 years, Dave executed a 4-pillar framework. And by age 65, he had accumulated $380,000 in retirement savings, plus Social Security income. Not wealthy, but stable, comfortable, free. Let's break down exactly how he did it. Dave's first move was the most important one. He maxed out his catch-up contributions. Here's something most people don't realize. The IRS actually gives you a bonus if you start late. It's called catch-up contributions. And it's designed specifically for people over 50. In 2026, the standard 401k contribution limit is $23,500. That's for everyone. But if you're 50 or older, you can add an extra $7,500 on top of that. That's $31,000 per year going into your 401k, tax deductible, before you even think about anything else. Then there's your IRA. The standard limit is $7,000. But with the catch-up, you can contribute $14,500 if you're over 50. Combined, Dave could stash up to $45,500 per year into tax-advantaged accounts. Now, Dave didn't have $45,500 after taxes and living expenses, but he did have about $2,500 a month he could redirect. That's $30,000 a year, enough to max his 401k, and he committed to it like it was rent. No skipping, no excuses, every single month. Some months were tight. Really tight. He cut cable. He stopped eating out. He drove his car an extra 3 years past when he wanted to replace it. But every month, that $2,500 went in. Here's where the magic happens. At a conservative 6% average annual return, those contributions, plus compound growth over 15 years, would grow to over $500,000 on paper. Now, the real number ends up lower because of taxes, market dips, and withdrawals along the way. But the foundation, it's massive. The first pillar isn't complicated. It's painful. It means choosing your future self over your present comfort. Dave chose his future. That decision built the foundation for everything else. Dave's second move was one that most people resist. He downsized his house. He'd been living in a 4-bedroom suburban home. It was paid off, which was good. But here's what most people don't think about. Even a paid-off house costs money. A lot of money. Dave was spending $3,500 a month on property taxes, homeowner's insurance, maintenance, and utilities. That's $42,000 a year, disappearing into a house that was 3 times bigger than he needed. His kids had moved out years ago. 2 of the bedrooms hadn't been used in over a decade. He was heating empty rooms, maintaining a yard nobody played in, and paying property taxes on space he didn't use. So Dave made a tough decision. He listed the house. He moved into a modern 2-bedroom townhome in the same neighborhood. Same friends, same community, same grocery store, but half the space. The townhome cost $250,000. After selling his house and covering closing costs, Dave walked away with about $180,000 in cash. That $180,000 didn't go into a vacation or a new car. It went straight into his retirement accounts and an emergency fund. But that's not all. His monthly housing costs dropped from $3,500 to about $2,300. That freed up $1,200 a month. $14,400 a year. Money that used to vanish into empty rooms now flowed directly into his future. Some people hear this and think that sounds like giving up, like admitting defeat. But Dave didn't see it that way. He saw a 4-bedroom house keeping him trapped, and a 2-bedroom townhome setting him free. Pillar 2 isn't about suffering. It's about being honest with yourself about what space you actually need versus what space is quietly draining your wealth. Dave's third move was to build a side income stream. Now, this isn't about driving for Uber at 50. This isn't about flipping burgers on weekends. This is about leveraging what you already know. Dave had spent 25 years in academia. He had deep expertise in his field, a network of colleagues, credibility that took decades to build. And there were companies out there, consulting firms, online education platforms, edtech startups, that would pay real money for exactly that expertise. So Dave started small. He reviewed curriculum for an online university. He did some consulting for a few edtech platforms. He guest lectured for a continuing education program. Nothing glamorous, no viral side hustle, just steady professional work on evenings and weekends. By year 2, he was pulling in about $800 a month. Some months a little more, some months a little less, but consistent. That's $9,600 a year. And over 15 years, Dave earned about $120,000 in total side income. After taxes and some lifestyle spending, about 60% of that, roughly $72,000, got redirected into his retirement savings. But here's what mattered even more than the money. The side income changed how Dave saw himself. He went from feeling like a man who had failed to feeling like someone with marketable, valuable skills. That mindset shift, it's worth more than any paycheck. Dave's final pillar was Social Security strategy. And this is where most people leave tens of thousands of dollars on the table. Here's how it works. If you start claiming Social Security at 62, you take a permanent reduction. For Dave, that would have meant about $1,850 a month. But for every year you delay past your full retirement age, your benefit grows by about 8% per year. Delay from 62 to 70, and your monthly check can be 77% higher. That's not a small difference. That's the difference between scraping by and living comfortably. Dave ran the numbers with a financial advisor. His strategy, work until 65, then claim Social Security at 65. At 65, his benefit came out to about $2,800 a month. That's $33,600 per year, adjusted for inflation. Could he have gotten more by waiting until 70? Yes. But Dave calculated that his break-even point was age 82. And he wanted guaranteed income starting sooner, not gambling on living to 85. This is the key. Social Security isn't a one-size-fits-all decision. It depends on your health, your other income, and your risk tolerance. But what Dave did right was this. He didn't just claim at 62 out of panic. He planned it. He modeled it. He chose deliberately, and that deliberate choice added thousands of dollars per year to his retirement income compared to the default option most people take. So let's add it all up, starting from $0 at age 50. 15 years of intentional, aggressive action. Pillar 1, catch-up contributions. $30,000 a year for 15 years, plus compound growth at 6%. Tamistino, minus taxes and market reality. Net result, roughly $240,000 in his 401k. Pillar 2, downsizing. $180,000 from the home sale plus $14,400 a year in redirected savings over 15 years. Combined impact, roughly $140,000 added to his retirement accounts. Pillar 3, side income. $120,000 earned over 15 years, with $72,000 redirected to savings. With growth, that contributed another $80,000 or so. Total retirement savings at 65 and approximately $380,000. Add Social Security at $33,600 per year, and Dave's total retirement income works out to about $52,000 a year, including a safe 4% withdrawal from his savings. Is that rich? No. Is it luxury? No, but it's real. It's stable. It's enough to live with dignity, independence, and peace of mind. Now, here's the part that matters most. This isn't a story about Dave. This is a framework for you. You might not be a professor. You might not have a house to downsize, but the principles are the same. Save aggressively, cut your biggest expense, monetize your skills, and optimize Social Security. The worst thing you can do right now is nothing. The second worst thing is to wait another year. You have 15 years. That is enough time, but only if you start now.